The Santa Ana winds got scary in Descanso. Maggie Van Aken says the winds turned her morning routine into chaos.
It was pretty bad. We have livestock, horses and cattle, and you couldn't feed the cattle this morning because the hay would just blow away. The horses have containers that we put the hay in, but the cattle they couldn't get their hay. We had to feed them later in the day when the wind died down.
Alex Tardy with the National Weather Service says this is the strongest event of the year so far.
What's different about this is that this Santa Ana that we had today is stronger than the last two. So we saw winds up to 80 miles per hour in the mountains. Most areas saw winds of 20 to 40 miles per hour, but everyone felt the dry air coming in from the desert.
The Mountain Empire School District canceled classes today because of the high winds. The current high wind warning will remain in effect until 10 o'clock tonight, but that won't be the end of it.
But another Santa Ana is coming in Friday night, and we'll feel the effects of that on Saturday. So we're likely to have greater fire danger on Saturday.
Captain Thomas Schutz with CAL FIRE San Diego says they're at peak fire staffing levels.
The challenge we have this time of year is everything's been cooking all year long. The fuel moistures go down.
And he says the Santa Ana wind event has already erased the little progress made by last week's storm.
And so even though we got a decent amount of rain last week and it put us in a decent spot, that brush isn't magically just back to doing great. It's still very flammable out there, still a lot of dry and dead vegetation, and the winds will continue to dry out that moisture that we did get and cause us problems.
He urges people to always have an evacuation plan and not use open flames or equipment that could start a fire.
These dry, windy days are not the days to be burning or using mechanized equipment or doing anything on your property that could potentially start a fire, because once it gets up and really gets that momentum going, the fire with the Santa Ana wind has the potential to be very, very devastating for your community.
Tardy says another Santa Ana is expected on Thanksgiving, making fire conditions even worse. So it's a good idea to be prepared and be extra careful. Kitty Alvarado, KPBS News.